When was the last time you looked at your savings or investments and asked yourself this simple but powerful question? How do I know when everything is about to change? Not the little ups and downs that come and go, not the temporary excitement of a hot stock tip or a lucky bet, but the real change, the moment when your money suddenly works harder than you ever dreamed, when compounding shifts gears and begins to explode. Most people never notice that there are always signals before it happens. Just like you can tell rain is coming by the smell in the air, or feel an earthquake in the ground before the wave hits. Compounding also gives warnings. They are not loud, they are not obvious, but they are there. And if you recognize them, you know you are close. That is what we are going to uncover today. The 7 signs that always appear before compounding takes off like a rocket. And trust me, if you recognize the 6th signal in yourself, you can already start celebrating, because one morning, you might wake up and notice that your compounding exploded overnight. So leave a like, and let's start. Signal number 1. When the growth feels slow, steady, and boring, this is the first and strangest signal. It seems like a contradiction, right? You'd think the sign of explosive growth would be excitement, flashing numbers, and huge jumps in your account. But it's the opposite. The first signal that compounding is about to explode is boredom. When you start investing, every dollar feels dramatic. You add $100 and stare at the chart waiting for something to happen. If the market goes up, you celebrate. If it goes down, you panic. The numbers are small, so your emotions are large. But as time goes on, something shifts. The returns stop feeling emotional. They stop feeling like a casino. They start feeling like background noise. The balance ticks upwards slowly, steadily, with no fireworks. And that is the exact signal you should be waiting for. Because compounding at its most powerful stage is not a roller coaster. It is a snowball rolling downhill, quiet, heavy, impossible to stop. Think of a farmer planting seeds. The early weeks are anxious, but growth looks boring. Until the day it no longer does. Then suddenly, the field is full. That boring phase was not failure. It was the foundation. Sarah, a young teacher, invested $200 a month. For 5 years, she only reached around $15,000. She felt bored, tempted to quit. But boredom was the signal, because in the next 10 years, the account crossed $60,000 with zero drama. And later, she realized, if I want the explosion sooner, I need more money to invest. So she started a side business, opening a YouTube channel without showing her face thanks to Money Mindset's free Telegram community linked below. What? Signal number 2. When your money begins to earn more than you contribute, this is the moment everything shifts. At first, almost all growth comes from you, your paycheck, your discipline, your savings. You are carrying the snowball uphill. But then something happens. Your money begins to work harder than you do. Maybe you deposit $500 per month and the account earns $20. But one day, it earns $600. That is the turning point. That is when the workers, your dividends, your interest, your reinvested returns, start doing more than you. After 10 years of an 500 month at 7%, you invest $60,000, but end up with $86,000. Compounding added $26,000 on its own. After 20 years, you invest $120,000, but the account becomes $260,000. Compounding contributed more than you ever did. When that happens, you are officially standing on the edge of the curve. The explosion is close. Signal number 3. When time matters more than money, this is when your mindset transforms. At first, you obsess over saving more, but eventually, you realize the real power is time. Alex starts at 20, invests for 10 years, then stops. Mark starts at 30, saves twice as much, and continues for 30 years. Who ends up with more? Alex, because time beats money. Alex then boosts his growth even more by starting his YouTube channel, another faceless channel built with help from Money Mindset's community, and begins investing twice as much as Mark. When you realize time is the multiplier, you are approaching compounding's explosive stage. Signal number 4. When dips stop scaring you and start exciting you in the beginning, dips feel like disaster. Your stomach drops. You panic. You imagine the worst. But after years of watching recoveries, something changes. You stop fearing dips and start welcoming them. Why? Because dips are discounts. John has $200,000 invested. The market falls 20%. He loses $40,000 on paper. Years ago, he would have sold everything. Now, he smiles. His 1,000 contribution buys 20% more shares. He knows the rebound will multiply faster than before. Fear has turned into opportunity. That mental shift is one of the strongest signals of explosive compounding. Signal number 5. When compound growth pays for entire parts of your life at first, interest buys a sandwich. Later, it pays for small extras. But eventually, it becomes a river. Maria's investments earn $12,000 in a year, $1,000 per month. Her rent? Covered. Automatically. Without her lifting a finger. This is when compounding becomes real freedom. Once it starts paying for your life, it rarely goes backward. That is how the snowball becomes unstoppable. Signal number 6. When your money grows faster than your goals, this is one of the most exciting signals. You set goals. $10,000, $100,000, $1 million. At first, they look like mountains. But one morning, you check your account and realize you passed the goal years early. Mark wanted $250,000 by age 45. He hit $300,000 at 42. Compounding hadn't reached the goal, it raced past it. This is when everything accelerates. When old limits no longer apply, this is when compounding is officially in its explosive phase. Signal number 7. When money stops being about survival and starts being about legacy, this is the deepest signal of all. Early on, money is survival. Bills, groceries, rent. But when compounding has worked long enough, you shift. You stop thinking about today's needs and start thinking about tomorrow's impact. David invested consistently for decades. By his 50s, his portfolio reached several million. One day he realized he would never spend it all. His money would outlive him. So his questions changed from can I afford to retire to what legacy do I want to leave? Scholarships? Charity? Family? Bigger, better YouTube content? When money becomes legacy, compounding has already exploded. Where are you right now? Are dips still terrifying? Or do they excite you? Are your investments covering small extras? Or parts of your life? Are your goals ahead of you? Or is your money outrunning them? Wherever you are, compounding is moving. Quietly. It doesn't announce the explosion. It signals it. And those signals are always there. That's why you must survive the boring phase. Hold strong through the dips. Stay patient before the curve bends. Because once it does, compounding becomes unstoppable. And it transforms not just your money, but your life, freedom, and future. And when I see the signal that you've joined my free Telegram community, I'll know you're close to blowing up your YouTube channel, especially if you follow what Money Mindset teaches. If you made it this far, it means the techniques are already working. So subscribe, like this video, and comment which signals you've recognized, because the signs are always there. The only question is, will you see them in time? See you soon. Just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for educational purposes only. Your results depend on your own decisions and actions.